There we go. This time I actually... No, what... Basically, this is the first time that I have updated Windows since... is the game audio loud enough? Can you hear the little beeps and boops and everything? Not that it matters much in a game like... No, it's really quiet on... No, it's quiet on... Excuse me, it's quiet on my end. It's not quiet in the game. In the stream, it should be fine. Yeah, this is my first time updating Windows 10 because I had Windows XP in like 2001, and aside from that, I've had different versions of Mac OS 10, and then a few years ago I started using Ubuntu Linux on different machines, and really only when it came time for getting prepared for streaming and stuff did I really get a new Windows machine. So I didn't realize how much chaos that apparently updating Windows 10 can cause. I feared something like this. I couldn't... Yeah, apparently updating Windows 10 messed with settings both in the PC and in Streamlabs OBS. And I had to fight... I had to really fight with Streamlabs OBS to just let the mic back on. And frankly, I'm more of a morning or daytime person. I'm not really a late night person. But so because of that, I'm really in like the last quarter, last 25% or so of Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario Advance. And because of that lost hour, I think it's, and especially how I feel kind of the sort of emotional roller coaster trying to get the stream to work, is I really at this point don't feel like I'm alert enough to play through the later levels of Super Mario Bros. 2. So I'm just for Raylet 900 and the others who've come back. Oh, you want to see some Mario 64? Then I'll let's play the what? Hey, let me play. How about I'll play this until I get a game over. And then I'll grab a couple of stars in Mario 64. You could choose some easier... Well, this is a dynamic thing. It's not... I mean, just the fact that I even have a... I mean... like, I didn't even plan to be playing pinball right now. I first went to pinball... What was it? You were there the last stream when I ended up doing a... I already lost... I already got a game over. Alright, let's just go ahead... I'm having lots going on in real life. Nothing too terrible. Just it could just be a tad tiring. Excuse me. I'm not used to the Wii U interface still. But let's. Okay, got to get to change the stream title again already, which I don't mind doing. Mario 64. Oh, I was streaming pinball under Mario 64 anyway. I feel bad for whoever's popping in expecting to see Mario and its doggone NES Pinball. Alright, we'll choose some, maybe go for a couple hundred coin stars. Well, the thing is with Mario 64, it's not as... I feel like 3D platformers aren't as intense to me as 2D platformers. Yeah, the 7-hour one. Yeah, I switched to NES Pinball there just because we were getting into so deep with the I think the Pokemon discussion we were doing that I ended up wanting to switch to something I could play and still run my mouth. Actually, actually, let's do this first. Wait, what's the Frosty slide for 8 red coins? I still haven't done the 8 red coins. I still haven't done 8 red coins, I'm surprised. Okay, this is the first. I started, just out of, with the time I had, well, I just ended up working on that Pokemon action drama thing again, just for the heck of it. And what, I was up to episode 70 on that. Let's see. Frosty slide. No! Doggone. Alright, we're not going back to that level right now.
Mamma mia!
You know, it's funny, I forgot about the Switch Stars. I really don't even remember what the Switch Stars are. Because I have not gone for... I have not gone for Mario 64. Yeah, I really haven't gone for... I haven't really played Mario 64 since... Mario 64 DS since it came out. I beat it, and after that I went back to it a couple times, maybe 2005 for the mini games. Oh, Wind and Rain was the name of the fic. And actually, some of the things in it actually were based on my experiences living on the Rockaway Peninsula of New York City during hurricane season, when there's lots of, you know, danger of flooding and wind damage. And let's go in here. So it was called Wind and Rain for that reason. So, but I'm not going to talk too much about a 70-episode Pokemon fan series that no one's read except for me and like 3 other people. So, but I was just saying, yeah, I did happen to start working on that again, and I have. At this point, I'm definitely... What am I supposed to do? Shocking arrow lifts. I don't even know... I'm probably not going to stream past midnight. Regardless of how far I get, but let's... Oh, yeah. Well, at least... That's the funny thing about my... Yeah, that's what I was saying about my fic thing. Yeah, you really need to stay on it to make progress when you're writing something like a novel. For Wind and Rain, it's been tough for me to, like, a lot of the concepts of it, I know I mentioned this before, a lot of the concepts of it, I could very easily work into something unique, something that's not Pokemon related, because so much of it is, you know, the characters especially, it's so far removed from anything directly related to Pokemon, but I guess because some of the arcs, some of the characters are based on them being the Pokemon of the human characters, that sort of creating an entirely new, like, monster training fictional universe, which is a lot more complicated than just, like, taking, like, oh, instead of flying on the backs of Pokemon, they're flying on the backs of, like, giant dragonflies or giant birds or something. That's easy to change, but it's just weird creating a setting like that, where... Because when I'm dealing with Pokemon, the idea that Pokemon are owned by humans, it's not like... It's... Because it doesn't really... It's just easy to deal with in Pokemon, because it's just like, okay, we know it's for kids, you know it's not that serious, but if I take it into my... When I take it outside of that really light-hearted sort of setting, even though my fic is, like, kind of PG-13 or even soft R-rated, it just gets really weird and complicated, I guess, to try to write about in an original context, whereas if it's like, oh, these are Pokemon trainers and these are their Pokemon, it's a lot easier, I guess, to hand wave off without getting into, like, is this slavery type thing? You start off as a Yu-Gi-Oh fanfic, you decided to retain the story, but change the names when you made it original. You like that you gave your Flygon some love. Yeah, well, heck, I don't have it handy. I have some artwork. Yeah, Flygon's... Yeah, Flygon's one of my favorites. I wish I had I have a Dragonair plush over by my television in this room. And I wish I had a similarly sized Flygon plush to go with her, so that I could have, Mersey and Sophia are the names of the characters. They're a couple. But, yeah, like, and I have different... If I adapt this into something original, I feel like almost like I don't know, like some of the Pokemon characters would just work as humans, but then others only but then certain aspects of the story only work if they're the Pokemon that are owned by other characters that are already humans. So it's just, it's interesting and weird. And well, eventually, there are elements that are definitely going to be adapted into, one way or another, adapted into original fiction. Goodra, you know, Goodra's one of those Pokemon where, I don't know, I like each member of the line so much that I don't even, like with the Dratini line, I like sea serpents more than I like traditional dragons, and I like Dragonite, but I like Dragonair more than Dragonite. But then, like, Flygon, I like because it's sort of a dragonfly-themed dragon. Yeah, I love all three phases of the Goomy line a whole lot. Especially, like, Goomy in particular just reminds me so much of Haro from the Mobile Suit Gundam series, especially the mouth. Yeah, like, I could imagine having one of the member of the Goomy line that gets, like, really overly affectionate, like Ash's Muck does to Professor Oak in Pokemon. You know, I was just thinking earlier today how messed up it is the way Ash left behind. Okay, I already got this star. I didn't even know if it was. I thought it was going to be coins or something. Shocking arrow lifts. I'm looking around. Are they down there? You can give me. My brain is half turned off because of how late it is, so. Oh, do I need. Oh, wait a second. Those are the arrow lifts. Okay, I see them. I was just outside of their draw distance, so I wasn't sure what the game wanted me to do. And don't feel too pressured to respond quickly. I'm just running my mouth because I know you are enjoying multiple streams right now, which I'm honored to be one of your choices for tonight. You guys are all my friends forever. Oh, excuse me while I condemn you to Oak's labor camp for the next 20 years. But especially with Ash's Bayleaf, the way, like, because Ash's Bayleaf seemed to, like, have an actual crush on. Oh wow, that was incredibly easy. I was kind of shocked by how easy that was. Hey, 50 stars, only 20 more before I get my, oh wait, so the cap switch is having you, the red, green, blue caps, hurry along, the third floor is just ahead. I'm already on the third floor. Yeah, I did not, let's see which ones I've gotten. Top of the town, shocking arrow lifts. Express elevator, hurry up, we got secrets in the shallows and sky. Okay, I am not playing this nonsense where I just have to wander around the map and find 5 invisible points. Actually, I'm going to go back in there. I'm going to jump high so the water level's nice and high so I can get into the abandoned town easily. Wasn't the reason it was obsessed with him, it was due to the episode it was caught in? I heard he saved her from a snowstorm. I forgot. You know, at the same I have to admit, I kind of fell off of the first time I fell off of the Pokemon animated series was really around very early Gold and Silver. Oh wait. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I forgot that there was a star door here that was blocked unless you had 50 stars. Because in my head, I just imagined everything above the first key to be a single level. So I forgot that there was a 50-star door. Yeah, yeah, I forgot there was even a 50-star door. This is the last area. And I, honestly, when I first played this as a kid, I kind of was unsure if Tick-Tock Clock... Well, I was actually unsure if Rainbow Ride was a level where... I thought it was a bonus area at first because of the, it uses the slide music. Oh, because it uses the slide music, and it would just, like, seem so empty, kind of-ish. Yeah, I know the secret stairs. I'll never forget the secret stairs. That was a really cool optical illusion they pulled up. Oh, okay. I didn't get all the way up like I intended to. I'm just trying to get the 8 coin stars. Yeah. No, what happened was I watched the original, like, the Indigo League series, the original series. Then they went to the Orange Islands, and even before I knew the term filler or whatever, I could tell that the Orange Islands was just to hold time out for Pokemon Gold and Silver to come out, and for them to have a new region come out that was actually in the games. So, as I was waiting... So, I was kind of just put up with the Orange Islands arc. Wasn't upset by it, but I was just kind of like, okay, this should just hold us out until, you know, we go to Johto. And then, when we got to Johto, I was like, oh, this is just going to be the same thing as Indigo League, but with new towns and badges. And so I just kind of lost interest at that point. I was more interested in the games than the show. Yeah, they were. No, as soon as they announced the gym trials, I was like, okay, this is literally just how the Orange Islands gym challenges worked, but they actually like put it in the games properly. Okay. I'm trying to get to. Yeah, but I have actually resolved. I know I was thinking about it, and we talked about it last time. I am going to go ahead and get Pokemon Sword and Shield. I might get something else. I might get another Switch game first. I was thinking about Animal Crossing, actually. Yeah, it would be my first Animal Crossing game, and I just thought it would be fun, because I'll do a few streams where I play for, like, maybe 4 hours or whatever, and just play that alone. But once I get past that initial, like, setup and getting into it, that could be a good game where I could play for maybe a half hour or an hour at the start of a stream and then move on to something else. I'll play the base game, because you basically, like, convinced me to play the base game of Pokemon Sword and Shield, but based on some of the stuff that I've seen and some of the stuff you described, I'm gonna buy a pre-owned copy. I'm not really eager to give Game Freak any money for this directly, if I can help doing so. And I'm not the kind of... If I play through it and I like it enough that I want some more, I will go ahead and get the DLC. Yeah, if I like the main game enough and I want to play some more, I will get the DLC. But right now I think I'm just going to stick to the base game and basically just play through for the story. Because in the Pokemon RPGs, I really do basically, excuse me, just play through for the story anyway. Okay, come on. Oh. This is taking too long. Let's just go to the 3rd floor. Let's go into Tick-Tock Clock and grab some stars. Because I'm just trying to... Well, apparently Pokemon Sword and Shield sold extraordinarily well for the series, so I think he's doing well enough without me. Well, the thing is, well, it's funny because I pay attention since Pokemon. To open the door that leads to the endless stairs, you need 70 stars. Wahaha. And you just have that. They pulled this off so effectively. You can't even tell really what's happening. how to backwards long jump. It would be funny if... But, yeah. Oh, I'm only going for 70 stars. I'm only going for 70 stars so I can beat the main campaign. I'm not going for 120 stars or anything. The backwards long jump definitely isn't emulation only. It's definitely possible for real because all the legit speedruns use it. Well, for certain categories.
Mamma mia!
No, it's something you have to practice and know what you're doing, and it's very, like, specific. Actually, the backwards long jump was first recorded in 1997, and it was, like, I think a magazine from from Latin America, I believe. Mario 64 tricks and tips site that said it was tasked. But there were magazines that like, it was kind of rediscovered in the 2000s. No, like, it's definitely not TAS only, because... Oh, it's from 2002? Okay, yeah, alright. I just remembered that they... Okay, I think... Do I have to stop the clock to get that one, or I have to stop at a different time? I wasn't even paying attention. Roll into the cage. I wasn't even paying attention to what time it was when I jumped into the clock. I mean, this is... I wish they could have just made just 2 more songs for this game. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay. There we go. I thought so. Yeah, because those things were moving way too erratically. Hello. I don't think I was close enough. No, I wasn't close enough. Look how fast I made everything, jeez. How did I end up with 11 1-ups? How did I end up with 11 lives? Oh yeah, because I'm used to playing on an actual well, not used to, but I forgot, I never restart the game. I'm playing on the same session that from the last stream, so all those lives I got, we still have. Alright. I don't know if this is going to be too hard for me, because I swear I... Hello, please? Camera, please? Okay, that's good. I'll take it. Alright, I got it. I got it. There we go. Now it looks really... It's kind of creepy that it's frozen like that, because you expect it to move at any moment, or at least I do. I remember once... well, a couple of times, I think I was playing Mario Kart DS online back when that was the thing, and some hackers, I guess someone was playing with an action replay and was able to somehow make it be able to be switched to, wait, I forgot what I was even trying to do. I have to go to these, oh my goodness. I think this is going to be a tough level for me anyway. Okay. Alright. The camera doesn't want to behave, so I can't... Okay, good. We got it. When I was a little kid, I actually thought it had to be at, like, the hour hand and the minute hand had to be on the 12. So I just sit there waiting for the longest time for the chance to, enter the clock. And I don't think I ever got a single star in this level as a kid, but my motivation for entering the clock was actually just to, well, entering at 12 was just so all the obstacles would be stopped. and that would make it easier for me to at least explore the level. Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing when they put that heart there. I don't know, like, this whole castle, I mean, I guess you could say maybe the castle was transformed by Bowser's magic, but, I mean, this castle has no bedrooms or anything in it. It's kind of creepy. And that's one thing part of, like, the old Mario 64 creepy thing, Mario is rather isolated. There are very few characters to talk to, as opposed to Mario Sunshine. Well, Mario Sunshine especially, because you're exploring, like, populated, lived-in areas that actually sort of have context as part of a functioning, like, civilization. Whereas here we just have these sort of weird areas. You have the castle, which has no, just the Toad. There are not many characters to talk to. And Mario Sunshine and Mario... Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's see if I... Let's see if that... No, that seems to help. Oh, and I did not know that in Royal Raceway they actually ported the map over of the outdoor area of Peach's Castle in Mario 64. I was not aware of that actually. Oh, hey everybody! It's Lucky 69 people coming straight in from Pete Door's stream. Sorry, I was out on the road when you were streaming, Pete, but I'm definitely gonna check out the VOD. Hey everybody, I'm playing Mario 64 really for the first time since the early 1990s. Actually, why don't I go over to the layout I made just for Mario 64. Normally I play Mario 64 as sort of like, I've spent a half hour, I'll play Mario 64 a bit, and then I'll move on to something else. But I had some weird technical problems. I had to leave the stream for a while to get my mic to work after I updated Windows 10. So Mario 64 ended up being the main game I was playing. I've been playing Super Mario Advance lately, but I'm close to the end of that game, and I'm not that much of a late night person, so I didn't want to be playing the last levels of a very difficult game as I'm sort of not at my most alert. So I decided to, hey, let's play Mario 64, that'll be fun, right? So, hey everybody. You worked hard to get that raid number? You had to just, like, ban a bunch of people so you got to exactly 69 and then just hit the button on there? Yeah, hey everybody. Oh gosh, Asleep in Atlantis is now following. Hiya. Yeah, this is the first time I'm playing Mario 64 since the 1990s, so it's been fun sort of re-experiencing a lot of these games. Oh, Gush on Games, hiya, how you doing? Let's see, let's see. No, I already got the 8 red coins, leave me alone, Bob-omb. I never got any I was a little kid, and I'm not that... Okay. No. Oh, hey, Sea Stove, how you doing? Woo! Well, that was a fancy way to die. Well, at least we could maybe go to a level that is nothing but a giant bottomless pit, and, so I won't be falling all over the place. This is the first time I've been to the top floor since the 90s. I've just been really, since I started streaming a couple months ago, I guess, sort of rediscovering all these games, because I tend not to replay games, even my very favorites. So, there are a lot of games that I grew up with that made this huge impact on me that I love so much that I haven't played in literally decades. And so, just going through Mario 64, finding the warp points again, like, just being in a certain spot, and all of a sudden I vanish and appear somewhere else, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. You know, and when I was a little kid, really my dad was getting most of the stars, because I was more into exploring the levels. Because I was good with 2D games that had a very clear point A to point B goal, but the idea of these sort of exploration-based games was kind of new to me, so I really would just sort of bumble around having fun moving Mario around in 3D. And Dad would get most of the stars and unlock more levels for me to play in. Now, I've also been playing Super Mario Advance for the first time since 2001. I've been playing a lot of Game Gear using the Analog Mega SG. I was able to play Sonic the Hedgehog on Game Gear, which was the first game I ever played as a kid. And I was able to do that using my own childhood cartridge of Sonic the Hedgehog. I got it back in '91, my very first modern video game. I did play some older games, some hand-me-downs, like Mattel Electronics Football 2, which is, you know, arguably not even a proper video game, because it doesn't even have a video display, it just has LED lights that blink on and off. When I tell people the first electronic game I ever played was Mattel Electronics Football 2, they tend to think I'm a lot older than I actually am. Whoa there. That was exciting. Alright. I just had the strangest hankering to go for 100 coins in Lethal Lava Land, because I just remembered that I never actually got the 100 coins in there. What gamepad I'm using? I'm playing this on... excuse me, let me switch to my... No, that's not it. That's not it. There we go. Yeah, I'm playing this on the Wii U using... yeah, I'm playing this on the Wii U using the Wii U Pro Controller. Actually, let me go in here real quick. Those of you who are not aware, this is my chance to do a public service announcement that I feel needs to get done. If anyone out there owns a Wii U... oh, excuse me, I need to switch to, there we go. Now, if anyone out there wants to see... look at... this is 4x3, excuse me, my game... if you have a Wii U, it has a fantastic virtual console that you could still download games for it using the eShop. It is still active as of August 2020. There's been no plans to shut it down. And yeah, all 12 Wii U owners. There are a lot of DS games on there. I've not streamed DS games yet, but I just want to get the word out because I have a feeling that the actually let me I'm very sleepy at this point. I'm just sort of bumbling around in Mario 64, so why don't I play something I could actually keep up with? Like, I hope I'm about to lose all of you, but I just wanted to play a little NES Pinball. Well, I don't have many NES games on here, but yeah, it's just so I could talk about, you know, what I've been playing lately. NES Pinball is one of my favorite games of all time. Actually, when Satoru Iwata passed away, there was a sort of a shrine, like a memorial set up at the Nintendo store in New York City. Oh, excuse me, I didn't press start yet. And they had a black tablecloth covered, a table with a black tablecloth and a portrait of Satoru Iwata, and this this book with this very fine, high quality paper for people to write messages of condolences. And I decided I made up a haiku to write in the book. And what I went there and I wrote, "Though flippers vanish at 100,000 points, the fun continues." Is what I wrote. Though flippers vanish at 100,000 points, the fun continues. Pinball. Because pinball was one of the games, I believe it was one of the first games Satoru Iwata worked on for Nintendo. And there are no credits in these early arcade-like NES games. But, yeah, that was... So Tundex, that was when... Yeah, Tundex, I got raided, and I'm not used to, keeping up with, Chad this quickly, but I've been playing, I actually beat... my whole childhood was, playing the NES version, the Game Gear version of Sonic the Hedgehog. So I actually came to... Oh, God, come on, there we go. And I got the ball back in play. That's great right there. I came to love Sonic based entirely on his 8-bit adventures on the Game Gear. And I never owned a Genesis growing up, so I was able to play my childhood cartridges of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic 2 using the Analog Mega SG. So I was able to use my own childhood cartridges, which I really loved. And I'm going to go back to Sonic for sure. I don't think I'll ever speedrun it, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun being able to... Well, I was very fortunate. I've been fortunate to be local to the Nintendo World Store. I don't live near there anymore, but I was able to actually meet Shigeru Miyamoto at the Nintendo store. I don't have... Do I have... Let's see. Is this... Do I have... No, I got rid of it. Doggone. I had... At one point, I had the... Do I have it here? No, at one point, I have a picture of me shaking hands with Shigeru Miyamoto. I had it, like, in my layout just to show people. Yeah, I got to meet Shigeru Miyamoto and Bill Trinen, but I was so enamored with meeting Miyamoto that I sort of didn't realize Bill was there at the time. But one thing I did that I had a lot of fun doing was for my 30th stream. This is my 32nd stream, I believe. For my 30th stream, I actually went back and looked at Period magazine. I found scans of Electronic Gaming Monthly and other old gaming magazines, and I looked at reviews and previews of all the games I had played in my first 30 streams from the magazine. So I looked at reviews of the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog from when when the Game Gear version of Sonic first came out. So I looked at the reviews of the game from back then. I looked at reviews of Final Fantasy VII. I played through Midgar and up to Costa del Sol, because I only played up to Costa del Sol as a kid. Because I really only played up to the boat ride to Costa del Sol, because Final Fantasy VII was the first RPG me and my brother ever played, so we didn't really understand how to properly level our characters and be prepared for boss encounters. So we're kind of soft-locked on the boat, where we couldn't beat the boss that you encounter on the boat. So really, that's as far as I got as kids, and I really just kind of wanted to play through the game and relive it, sort of my childhood experience with it. So that was my first time really playing through FF7 since the 2002. Well, excuse me. In 97, me and my brother got stuck on the boat. Then in 2002, I went back to it, and I got past there. I got nearly through to the end of the first disc, and I just sort of fell off of it. And then I let my friend borrow my copy of FF7, a friend I'm still in contact with, and I just never got it back. It was just never really a priority. Because I look forward to playing like the first Paper Mario. I haven't played since back then. I never beat it either. I only got about halfway through it because Paper Mario was a game I always had to rent. So I never. The furthest I got was, I got past Tubba Blubba's Castle and not much further, because at that point I'd have to return the game to Blockbuster. But one thing I really remember was, I was fortunate. We weren't the richest family, but we were lucky to be able to have both the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. And on Fridays, after me and my brother finished our homework, my parents would take us to Blockbuster, and we each got to rent one game. So me and my brother would team up, and he would rent a Nintendo 64 game. Well, one of us would rent an N64 game, and one of us would rent a PlayStation game. And so we'd get a lot of play out of both systems. And at the end of each month, on the last Friday of each month, we'd go to the rental store, we go to Blockbuster, and then right nearby was a nice little hole-in-the-wall pizza parlor that made the best pizza ever. So we'd go to Blockbuster, we'd get a PlayStation game and an N64 game, and that was around the time that the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book would come out. So I'd get a comic, the newest issue of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then I would, and this was around, like, back when, I know, like, the Archie Comics Sonic universe is kind of a joke these days. Hey, Similarian, yeah, I'm doing good. Didn't have quite the stream I was expecting. I had to postpone it by more than an hour because I was having some weird microphone problems I never had before because I updated Windows 10. I am a Linux and Mac guy, and really only when I got into streaming did I begin to dabble back into the world of Windows after I had Windows ME back in 2001, and then I updated to Windows XP, and really after that I was only using Windows and Mac until just a few months ago. So this is my first experience updating Windows, and I wasn't fully aware of all the havoc that can cause. What year was this? This was 1997, 98. I know the Archie Comics Sonic universe is kind of a laughingstock now about how complex and crazy it got, and how certain creators are now kind of controversial on the subject of ridicule, in some cases, perhaps rightfully so. But, I mean, when you had the Endgame arc in the Sonic comics, where you have all these high stakes that are, weren't typical for, kids comics, and especially for licensed kids comics, Sega gave Archie a lot of freedom, eventually perhaps too much creative freedom, but, to have these high stakes where, that you have this arc in what they called the Endgame saga. It was like 4 or 5 issues. And if you're not familiar with the Archie Comics Sonic, it was loosely based, especially at the time, more so than now, on the Sonic the Hedgehog Saturday Morning series. And if you're not familiar with the Sonic Saturday Morning cartoon from the early 90s, or Sat AM as it's often called, is basically, the premise was that rather than Dr. Robotnik trying to take over the world, he already has taken over the world. If you're familiar with Sonic Forces, and you're not familiar with Sonic Sat AM, it's basically, Sonic Forces is believed by many to have been inspired in part by the Sonic Sat AM and Archie Comics continuity, because that scenario is where Robotnik has taken over the world and has created a global technocratic dictatorship. And Sonic and his friends are a group of resistance fighters that are doing sabotage missions against Dr. Robotnik's empire. And it's a very dark and moody art style. It's not like grim dark trying to be real gritty, but, the Robotnik city is really... my friends brought up Black and White. Would you consider Volcanara to be a pseudo-legendary? I am not... I don't know enough about Volcanara. I've never battled with it. I have one in my living decks. I do have a full living decks up through to, Sun and Moon. I have like 89%, I have like 90% of the Pokemon in Sun and Moon, and I haven't played Sword and Shield yet, and frankly at this point I'm probably gonna... The fact that I had the living decks up through the first 6 generations is something I can be proud of, but probably not going to keep up with it because I haven't played Sword and Shield yet. I don't know enough about Volcanara and its abilities and how gameplay, how its playstyle to really be able to... I know I never played Gen 4. Well, I never played Diamond and Pearl. I played Gen 4 in terms of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but I never played through the Sinnoh generation. I never played through Sinnoh. So I was not aware that Heatran was a legendary Pokemon, actually. I remember like watching even anime episodes that featured Heatran, and when I realized that Heatran was legendary, I was kind of surprised by that fact. Now, I don't want to... I know I have a lot of people in here right now, but I'll next be streaming at 4 o'clock on Thursday. I'm going to be playing Super Mario Advance. I've been playing that for the first time since 2001. And because I was so late in the game, I'm on like the last couple of I'm in the last like quarter of the game, and I'm not a nighttime person usually. So because of that, I tend to I don't want to be playing those last very difficult, challenging levels and be real sleepy. Which is partially why, especially now that I'm talking to so many people at once, that I decided to go with NES Pinball, because I could play this, not at my best, but I could play this and interact with chat a lot. I'm still getting the hang of interacting with chat. I'm told I'm pretty good at it. I'm told I'm pretty good at, you know, keeping the discussion moving and stuff like that. But what I was getting at with the Sonic comics, basically it was a sort of a darker take on Sonic the Hedgehog, where, you know, Sonic and his friends are freedom fighters. They're doing sabotage missions against Robotnik, and it might sound and you have to realize at the time they made this scenario, the Sonic canon at that point, Sonic Adventure wasn't even out yet. So the only Sonic canon they had to work on was Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. So they really had to create a lot of things for themselves. Sonic and the Black Knight, I have not played that yet. I have not... Okay, let me tell you my history with Sonic games. I have an interesting history with the Sonic games because I played Sonic on Game Gear growing up. I never owned a Genesis. In fact, the analog Mega SG is the first time I owned a system that could play Sega Genesis games. So I played some Sonic 1 as a kid, but I'm basically totally blind on Sonic 2, 3, and Knuckles, and I own the cartridges. Excuse me, I'll be right back. I just got to take a leak real quick. Excuse me. That might have been a little too much information, but I'll be right back. Excuse me. Alright, I'm back. Thanks for bearing with me. Alright. Okay. You're firing up your N64? Oh, awesome. You know, I tend to I have... Well, let me put my earphones back in. Yeah, sorry it took so long. I do actually force myself to wash... Well, not force myself, but I do go ahead and actually wash my hands. So I take longer than a lot of guys might to do a quick pee run. So what are you going to be playing? Oh yeah, excuse me. I didn't finish what I was saying to you about my Sonic history. So Sonic, I played Sonic the Hedgehog on Game Gear. I played Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I played Sonic Triple Trouble. And really the next Sonic game I played was Sonic Adventure, which I played at my friend's house on his Dreamcast. Then I rented Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the GameCube when that came out. And really I did not touch a Sonic game again until Sonic Forces, and the Sonic Forces similarity to... Hey, thanks for the follow. I deeply appreciate it. I hope I can deliver for you. I did not play after I rented Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Excuse me, I did rent Shadow the Hedgehog, which was actually, I just realized Shadow the Hedgehog was the last game I ever rented from Blockbuster. Wow. Sonic Forces, $7. Hey, it's $7. I'd say go for it. But I did not play all the way through Sonic Forces. I just know, I think they were really deliberately trying to play up on fans of the Sonic Saturday morning cartoon and of Sonic Archie comics, the theme of, you know, Dr. Robotnik taking over the world and Sonic and his friends being resistance fighters. And I wish I had my live reactions to that game recorded, because it would have been hilarious, because I was very frustrated with it early on, and very early on I kind of just gave up on it. So I have not played Secret Rings. Any other Sonic game that I did not mention just now, I have never played before, and I look forward to playing a lot of them on stream, you know, so I know they're not all bad or anything like that. I know that it's mixed results. They've done all kinds of different experiments on how to make Sonic work in 3D. I just know conceptually, Sonic Forces was very frustrating to me. There are times very early in the story where the game tells me one thing, then immediately shows me and immediately contradicts that. If the game tells me, now this is minor spoilers for the first couple of levels of Sonic Forces, but if the game tells me that Eggman has captured Sonic and has been torturing him for years, and then in the immediately following scene, Sonic is completely unharmed, making wisecracks, escapes and fights one of his fights his captors, I feel like the game's not taking me seriously. I also feel like with Sonic Forces, I feel like they had a great concept for a game where you play as Sonic and as a creatable character, and then I feel like someone in Sega was like, hey, well, Sonic Generations sold well, make something put classic Sonic in there, because I feel like he did not need to be in the game, and just the fact that, I mean, I know for Sonic Generations, I'm familiar with it, and I know it's one of the better 3D Sonic games, and better modern Sonic games in general. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, they knew what they were doing with create a character. Now, while forcing classic Sonic into it was a bad read. That was Sega making a bad move. Doing the create a character, that was a good way to read the Sonic fan scene and actually see what they might be interested in and what might be cool. Like, I feel like, yeah, I don't feel like it's a total waste. I just feel like I just don't feel like it was handled well. I feel like they needed more time in development. Once again, it's a running theme with 3D Sonic games, it seems, but the fact that classic Sonic is, at this point, a different character from modern Sonic is kind of so absurd to me. Because classic Sonic, I mean, let's see, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Sonic. I do not have Lost Worlds. Well, actually, when I first saw Lost Worlds, my first thought was, oh my gosh, they're actually bringing back the fisheye build of Sonic Extreme. That was actually my first thought. Now, wouldn't it have been amazing if they brought back the fisheye build of Sonic Extreme and put it on the Nintendo 3DS? That would have been fantastic. But I know fan recreations of what Sonic Extreme would have been like have done much better than I think Sega ever could have at this point. And I think the fact that Sega has been so lenient with fan projects is more help than, more love for the Sonic fandom than you could hope for. So, for all the things they've done, for all the mishandlings of the Sonic franchise, being very lenient with fan game projects has definitely been one of the proper steps, one of the better things they could have done. Because their goodwill is all they have. The goodwill with the fan base is all Sonic has at this point, in my opinion. But yeah, I feel like Sonic Forces was really trying to cash in on the fans of the classic Sonic Saturday morning cartoon. And they just did as much as they did enough to attract those people, but not enough to actually follow through and deliver on it. I know there's some things they can't follow through on because they just really aren't canon to the Sonic universe anymore. I know some people think that all of the Sonic Sat AM characters they can't use because of Archie comics and all the Ken Penders complications. But Ken Penders did not create the core cast of Freedom Fighters, and Archie does not own the Freedom Fighters characters. Those were created by Deke, and they're owned by Sega. And Sega's actually used those characters. Like, I know there was like a Sega theme park in Australia where there was actually a lot of Princess Sally merchandise, and I know there were concepts for Sonic Extreme where they're actually using the Princess Sally character as a character in the game. And heck, the Freedom Fighters are actually in Sonic Spinball as an Easter egg during the bonus game. So it's not like, and if Sega didn't own the rights to those characters, if they were tied up with Deke or with Archie Comics, then they wouldn't have been able to republish Sonic Spinball. What was your first experience with Conker's Bad Fur Day? Well, I'll tell you my first experience with Conker in general. Like everyone else, I was just sort of waiting for the original concept of Conker as just another, kid-friendly 3D platformer along the lines of Banjo-Kazooie. I remember playing, when Diddy Kong Racing came out, I remember playing as Conker and being excited for his actual game to come out. And it was actually the April issue of, hey, Silverstone, with the raid, thanks, I'm sorry I'm not able to, make a whole lot of your streams. I'm able to lurk sometimes, and I, tend to, not draw too much attention to myself. I know you were playing, the last time I was able to follow you often was back when we were playing, Sea of Thieves a lot. And actually, speaking of Rare, we were just talking about, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and how I was waiting for the Conker to come out, back when, it's late. I'm probably gonna have to end the stream soon just because I'm getting a little tired. But I'm having a lot of fun playing pinball and talking with all the people that came in from Pete Door's raid that are, getting to know me, and, we're talking about various things. But Conker's Bad Fur Day, it was the April issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly. So it's April, so everyone is expecting April Fool's jokes in that issue. And the April Fool's joke was that there was going to be an Intellivision revival called the Giga Intellivision. And I actually thought that was real at the time, because it just so happened that the April issue also covered the reveal of Conker's Bad Fur Day being made into a mature audiences only parody game, with a lot of, swearing and, poop jokes and all those kind of things. Pete's doing great. He was playing, Voodoo Vince earlier. And, he's still doing his eBay streams. He does them weekly now, usually nowadays. He does eBay often on Saturday. And he started these cool streams where he'll just we'll watch some vintage, promotional videos for games. From, we found, when people... There was, a video we watched, last week or the week before, where it was a video on how to set up a Nintendo store display and how to hand out pamphlets and how to talk to customers that are asking about Nintendo products. So we were just watching a lot of stuff like that, which is kind of a new thing for him. We've had a lot of fun with that. Yeah, they are, but this was... What I'm talking about was back in... 2000, in April 2000, when they, or April 99, whenever it was that they first revealed Conker for N64 was being rebooted as a adults only parody game, because originally it was supposed to be a by the numbers. Yeah, back in the day, Conker was supposed to be a by the numbers traditional kid friendly platforming game like Banjo-Kazooie. And when they revealed that it was going to be an M-rated parody game aimed at adults, it happened to drop in the April issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly. And so when people saw that, including me, I thought it might have been the April Fool's joke. But the April Fool's joke was that they were doing an Intellivision revival. Yeah, well, I will say, at least the Intellivision Amico, as it's being called, there have been some sort of problems and concerns with the Amico, but at least it is a legitimate system, or at least they're aiming to make a real system, whereas the Atari VCS, it seems like they basically just stuffed a Linux box into an Atari shell, and don't really have a lot of engineering or hardware background. as far as being a unique platform, it seems like the a television Amico, which at best is going to be, and mind you, this might be something I might actually get the Amico. I've been interested in it when others have been naysayers. At best, it's going to be a niche system aimed at best, it's going to be a family-friendly niche system. And if it could be a successful cross-section between the toy market and the video game market, you know, but in terms of being a competitor to the Switch, in terms of, you know, it's I don't really think that's going to happen. Oh, the VCS has been an absolute disaster. Like, there was one point where they were going to mold the plastic out of... They were going to mold the system out of all these sort of rings and then piece them together. And then they realized that that was too expensive. So they were designing things without even understanding, like, the cost. Basically, they designed a box. It sounds like a similar thing to what was going on with the Coleco Chameleon, if anyone remembers that. Yeah, Tommy Tallarico is cool, but the thing is, he's a hardhead, and he's a loudmouth. And those are his best traits, but they're also, like, sort of his weaknesses, because, like, they've been, over the years, like, when people have been naysaying the Intellivision Amico project, I mean, imagine if, like, Reggie made a video where he goes on the official Nintendo YouTube channel and was reading, like, comments from detractors and making fun of them. You know, it's like, you don't let them... It's like that saying, never let them see you bleed. You know, you don't... There's a way to handle criticism, and it's not even like... I don't even think he handled it in a toxic way. It's just a way that sort of... It shows that the naysayers are getting to him. And it's just... I guess sometimes he says things when he probably should maybe keep quiet. And another thing about... really, I guess what the thing is about the Amico... in my opinion, especially in regards to Tommy, if I was to give him advice, not that he needs my advice, you know, like, he's been making games since, you know, since I was, like 2 years old or whatever. Basically, what I would say is, he's excited about this project, because he knows what's going on, he knows what the games are going to be like, whereas the people, when he's doing all this teaser footage for the Amico, he's basically, you know, not showing people much. And so when people are saying, I'm not impressed, I'm not impressed, this doesn't look impressive, he takes that really personally when you're like, okay, all you're doing here is just reminding people that you're working on this and just keeping your foot in the door. And you have to remember, they can't, you know, their impression's going to be based on what little you showed them. So when you expect them to be excited based on what you know the project's going to be in its full form, you know, I think there's maybe a bit of a disconnect there. So, yeah, I was out of town, actually. Yeah, so it was, it didn't quite work out. I didn't quite, hey, Kalaka Boy, I didn't quite have the, the stream didn't quite go as I planned. I planned to play, I ended up having to delay it by over an hour because I updated Windows 10, which caused me to have weird microphone problems I didn't notice till the last minute because I never had these problems before. And, actually, in 20 minutes, I'm probably going to call it. And I started so late that I really didn't think... I'm up to the last couple of worlds in Super Mario Advance, and I really didn't feel like this late I could feel this. I'm not the biggest night owl. I could feel the weariness kind of dragging on my brain a bit. I didn't think playing those last couple of really challenging worlds in Super Mario Bros. 2 was going to work this late at night, especially after, you know, having to delay the stream by starting by an hour. So I'm gonna. I originally planned to start Kuru Rin on Thursday at 4, after beating Mario Advance today, possibly. But instead I'm going to play Mario Advance, half-hour Mario 64, and beat Mario Advance. The next week we'll do Kuru 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 Ren. Going with my theme lately of Game Boy Advance launch period games. Actually, Kuru 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 Ren, even though it never came out in North America and I never played it myself, was the first Game Boy Advance game I ever saw screenshots of. So, have you played Kuru 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 Ren, Silver? Because I've never played it before. I'm totally blind on it. I have watched Pete play the Kuru Ren game on GameCube, because he was speedrunning that for a while. So I did watch it. It looks like a really comfy game with, you know, cute characters in it. And it's the sort of game like Irritating Stick, where you really don't need to have characters, but they sort of created some anyway. But yeah, when they first revealed Game Boy Advance, I think Kuru Ren was one of the first games they ever showed for it. It only came out in Japan and in Europe. And thanks to the European release, there is an English language version of the game that they released on the Wii U Virtual Console. Was it an assist trophy? I've never played... it may have been in one of the games. The most recent Smash Brothers game I've ever played is Super Smash Brothers for 3DS. I played Smash Brothers Melee, and then I really did not play another Smash Brothers game again until Smash for 3DS, because I was still in college at the time, and so I had people, you know, I could play with on 3DS. And frankly, without, you know, roommates or housemates or anything like that, I really didn't have much of a motivation to play. And Melee, you see me yawning here. And Melee I used to play with my brother, so I got a lot of mileage out of that. Oh, the VOD's gonna be interesting, because if you look at one VOD, it's just gonna be... I might as well leave it up. One of my VODs is basically 15 minutes of me with no sound trying to troubleshoot my equipment with my chat, you know, helping me out, saying, oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Then I had to go off stream for about an hour and troubleshoot my equipment. And once I got it working, I played a little pinball, then I played a little Mario 64, but my, I'm up to the third floor in Mario 64, where there are lots of bottomless pits and stuff, so it was late in the evening. I'm not the best gamer out there in terms of skill, to be real with you. When I beat Sonic the Hedgehog, when I became able to beat Sonic on Game Gear and Master System fairly reliably, it was kind of a big deal. I tend to play arcade-type games, more high-score-based games. Well, at least lately, but I have tons of... I love platformers, it's just that I'm not the greatest at them. So I'm late in the game. My Game Boy Advance games are played using the Wii U Virtual Console here. Because the Wii U has a fantastic Virtual Console for Game Boy Advance games. I only rented Conker once. My parents fortunately let me play it, even though I wasn't 17 at the time. But when I play Game Boy Advance, I put it in this little frame here, and I'll have usually for most of my games I'll have a little ticker on the bottom saying what game I'm playing, whatever my current commands are, and if I'm gonna be playing another game later, I'll have, you know, what game I'm playing. Then I'll have the box art up here in the corner. Game Boy Advance games are good for that because Game Boy Advance games are square. But when it comes to NES games, because the North American NES games are rectangular, so it's hard to fit it into the game into my layout and have it be full, like, not have it be like cropped or anything. Oh, thank you. This is only my 30. Hold on, This is my 32nd stream, I think. I've only been streaming for a couple of months. So I'm still getting the hang of some things. So like this is my first time I've really had equipment trouble really delay my stream. Now, if you want to look at some of my VODs, I should have, if you go to that playlist, I have most of my VODs uploaded to YouTube, where they're archived. My VODs are not publicly uploaded to YouTube. They're only available through this playlist. So, oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Now, one thing I have to get the hang of, so far, I have only played games in 4x3. I have to work out how I'm going to do my 16:9 layout once I finally get with the times and play some modern games. Because I am eventually going to play, I have, you can see, let's see. You can see I have my Switch here, so I played some 4x3 games on here, like Pac-Man Championship Edition, the NES remake of it, but I have not played any widescreen games yet. I do not like stretching. Excuse me. I have to find the right layout. Here we go. It's this one. Yeah. I do not like stretching 4x3 into widescreen. I'm not into it. And one thing, I was actually the this is movies, not games, but for the Peanuts movies, the Charlie Brown movies that came out in the 60s through to the 80s, those came out on DVD a few years ago. And when they came out on DVD for the first time, they ridiculously cropped the Peanuts movies were all made in 4x3 back in the day, and they cropped them to make them 16:9, and that's like the point of widescreen is to see more of the picture. When you take a 4x3 source material and crop it to fit widescreen, you're cutting off. There's so many scenes that didn't make sense because characters or objects were cropped out of the... Hey, to each their own. For some games, maybe stretching might work. For me, I just like to play it closer to how it was originally played. I'm using the Virtual Console here. This is emulation, but it's emulation that's part of the game's official release history. When the time... Look at that. Wow. Them physics, how about that? Now, when it comes to game like the DS Pokemon games, those I have no way of streaming that off of. It's very difficult and expensive to get a modified DS or 3DS to play DS games off of, which is why I'm so keen on getting as many Nintendo DS games on the Wii U Virtual Console as I can before that goes before that's no longer an option. And playing those because but when it comes time to when I want to play the DS Pokemon games, which were never on the Wii U Virtual Console, I'm gonna have to resort to PC emulation for that. So I'm not against PC emulation. I just prefer to play the games on real hardware, and in a way that in some way reflects the game's official release history. So, my favorite is I love my Analog Mega SG because I can play Genesis games and Master System games. I've played Master System on stream using my Mega SG. And I've also played Game Gear using the original cartridges. So it's not the original console, but it is, playing on the real cartridges at least. You only emulate an Animal Crossing? Just kidding. If you weren't kidding, I wouldn't think there was anything wrong with that. Oh yeah, there's a lot you could do with the Wii U in terms of modding and homebrew. If I do, I'm gonna get probably a different Wii U for that or something, because I'm just afraid of messing up my system. And my Wii U, I want to show it on screen for this. I used to I had 2,000 subs on YouTube back in 2011 when 2,000 subs was on the very lowest echelon of being very mildly notable. And I was very blessed at that time to have a viewer who I was not able to responsibly afford a Wii U at the time, and being a Nintendo-centric channel, it was kind of awkward and I was not in a rush to get one anyway because I did not even own an HD TV at the time. So I was like, hey, I can't afford a Wii U, but one of my viewers actually purchased it for me, and they offered it to me, and I kind of didn't believe it, but someone dared me to actually give him my address and see if he'd send it to me. I got a package from Canada I tried finding him, actually, when I was not able to... like 99% of the time I've spent on this Wii U I'm pointing to it, it's not even on screen. Like 99% of the time I've spent on the Wii U has been on stream playing games. So I was finally able to use my Wii U to provide content for my online, little community. And I was looking for him to thank him once again, but all traces of him have vanished from the internet. All traces of him. Is the screen name he used to contact me on, his Twitter is gone now. Yeah, that's what I expected, because I told someone I know, it was like, dude, this guy wants to send me a doggone, he says he wants to send me a Wii U, he wants me to give his address and send me a Wii U, and I was like, I'm not sending it to him, he's gonna send me like a dead bird or something, and he's like, no, you should send it to him, and he's like, I bet it's real. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I gave him my address, and I wish I had, it was hilarious, because I opened the Wii U outside, and I like stood at a distance, and I had it surrounded by garbage bags. I was ready for like there to be a dead bird or something inside of it. And the guy, I'm based in the US, the guy actually paid to export it from Canada at his, and I didn't even pay shipping. He paid the shipping himself. He paid to ship it. I didn't realize he was sending it from Canada, and he sent it with with the Pro Controller and a copy of New Super Mario Bros. U. I'm like, and once I got this, I'm like, who is this guy? I looked online and found out what I could. This guy worked at a fast food restaurant in Canada. So he I don't think, well, when I say unboxing, I meant I opened it. Once I knew that it was actually a Wii U inside the box, then the rest of the video was like, I just opened the rest on camera. But I just opened it to make sure it wasn't like anything evil, you know. So once I confirmed it was, he actually sent the system, and because I forgot I made the video first off. But then when I realized that he sent the controller, he sent the Pro Controller, and he sent, I think, a holder for the gamepad. Once I didn't realize he sent all that other stuff too. So yeah, but I cannot find any trace of him online at this point. So I don't know what reason he erased his online identity. So out of respect for that, I'm not even gonna say the screen name he was using at the time. For all I know, it could be someone who's in chat right now, or for all I know, it could be someone I know who made up a fake identity because they wanted to be anonymous or something. If it was two Wii's duct taped together, that would have been hilarious. Actually, I would have appreciated the joke for that if someone went through the trouble of doing that. All right. At 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. So on the half hour, or when I get my next game over, I'm gonna call the stream because I'm yawning a lot. The night streams are always gonna be a little on the shorter side, but especially tonight because I did have to delay it by an hour. I didn't even know if I'd be able to stream at all tonight. So thank you, Raylet, for bearing with me and for popping back in once you saw that I did go live, because Raylet is, a doggone hero who sat around for 15 minutes while I troubleshooted my capture card and my microphone. Yeah, no 7-hour stream today. I'm gonna try to probably limit it to maybe 5-6 hours tops. Between 4 and 6 hours is what I'm gonna aim for now. If things change in terms of how other responsibilities, maybe, and plus I'm just getting the hang of just sitting in one spot for very, very long, because I write. My background is in writing, and I do it at the same setup I have right here. But when I do that, all right, that's it. I'm gonna call it there. but when I do, I just want to thank you all so much. All the people who showed up for the first time in raids, and all my new followers. Like you said, if you've been watching this long, you've heard I play a lot of retro. Let me list off some games I played so far. I played Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario Party 2, and Mario Party 2 is one I go back to from time to time. Just do an odd stream of Mario Party 2. I'm gonna go back to the Sonic Game Gear games. I haven't even played all of them. I have a lot of games in my Game Gear collection I have not played yet. I'd like to, when I upgrade my camera, because I'm using a 480p camera, because I bought my camera right as everyone was rushing to buy cameras to do video conferencing during the COVID lockdowns. So I had to settle for a 720p camera. When I get my 1080p camera, I actually have a random playlist of different chiptune music, so it happens to be I thought myself a very fitting theme for the closeout. I do have a lot of, yeah, so, what was I getting at? Yeah, so I do the odd, Sonic, might go back to Mario Party 2 here and there. What have I also played? I've played WarioWare Inc. for the Game Boy Advance, which is the only Game Boy Advance game I've streamed up until recently. I started playing Super Mario Advance. My last stream of that's probably going to be on Thursday when I go back to that. But I have Kuru Ren, like dozens of all my favorite Game Boy Advance games, and ones I've never played before that I just downloaded on the Wii Virtual Console that I'm going to be playing. I have the NES and Super NES Classic Editions, games I had on those systems, and games I've never played before that I would have wanted. So that's gonna be I'm gonna be playing a lot of retro, but in the near future, I do look forward to starting with Animal Crossing on the for the new one for Switch. I never played an Animal Crossing game before, and that's a game I might play maybe an hour of at the beginning of a stream from going forward. Is Rhythm Heaven on the Wii U eShop? That's a good question. I'll have to check that out. I've only played the Rhythm Heaven on DS. Yeah, I never checked out if Rhythm Heaven's on the Wii U eShop. But there's a just of what I have downloaded and in my possession in terms of cartridges on systems that I could output in HD on. I have enough games for like a years of streams, let alone the games I want to get and add to my collection now that I have a reason to start buying some cartridge games again, because I have the Analog Pocket pre-ordered, so I'll be playing a lot of Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games that are not on the Wii Virtual Console. A lot of them on my original cartridges from back in the day. I look forward to that when the Analog Pocket comes out. So that's what you can expect if you're gonna hang out with me for future streams. This is my 30-second stream, I think. So I'm still pretty new at this, and finding, getting a feel for it, and it's been more fun than I could possibly imagine. I'm just incredible that even before my 10th stream, I already had some regulars in my chat, which I would not have expected. So. Yeah, yep, Gundam 0083. I've actually been watching, right now, on the Gundam Info, the official Gundam YouTube channel, all 3 parts of the Mobile Suit Gundam original series compilation films are up online. Gundam 00, Awakening of the Trailblazer is up there right now, all legitimately viewable on YouTube, for an undisclosed period of time. So go ahead and check it out. Thanks for the raids, everybody. Do I think, yes, thank you, Dendrobium, for being a giant brick with a gun. I love the Dendrobium a lot more than I should. But you have a lot of great history with gaming. Yeah, Serial Wars, if you, well, thank you very much for that comment. I have like 30-something VODs. I'm gonna type that again. Excuse me, I'm gonna type that again. Yeah, if you want to check that out, look at my past streams, get a feel for what I've done in the past, yeah, I haven't given much of I've given a sense of what you expect in the future, but yeah, you want to check out some of my past streams and skim through them. So many interesting discussions I've had with chat, like for instance, I'm gonna give you a quick one. I first played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Game Gear. The first time I saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Game Gear, it was I was a child, and we were filming a Sudafed commercial in the early 1990s. And one of the kids on set, in between takes, we would play, Game Boys and Game Gears. He had Sonic 2, and I was like, they made a second Sonic the Hedgehog game? I was blown away. So I was playing Sonic 2 for the first time since the 90s, and we actually, I found the commercial that I was in, the Sudafed commercial from the early 90s, and you could see where I'm in it, and you can see that I think the kid that had the Game Gear, we're not playing it in the take, obviously. So different things like that, just all the different conversations and memories I have a lot of these games. I haven't played many games yet that I've never played before. I actually think Kuru Kuru Kururin is going to be the first game I play on stream that I've never played before. And in September, I do look forward to playing Animal Crossing, funds permitting for me to get my hands on the game. Once you were building a kit, your dad was looking over your shoulder and went, "What the hell is a Gelgoog?" Well, the Gelgoog was developed by the Xeon mobile suit engineer, Gellert Guggenheim, in August 0083 Universal Century. I actually made that up. I totally made that up. There's no Gellert Guggenheim. I just made up that character to, I just made that oh man, you don't get me started about Gunpla. I haven't assembled a Gunpla. In 2001, I think I assembled a Gundam, the GX 9900 Gundam X that I imported. I've never even watched the Gundam X anime. I just thought the Gundam X was such a cool mobile suit with its giant satellite cannon. Yeah. Yeah, alright. It's time for me to keep going, because you're going to get me started talking about Gundam, and I'll be here all night. I don't have a fancy, let's see, where is... I don't have an end of stream card ready to go. But... alright, I'll see you around. I've been told the end of my streams are very abrupt because I just cut if I'm not raiding someone, and no one I know personally seems to be going right now, because I want to watch someone at least once before I raid them, just so I can get a sense of, if there's someone I'd like, or if they're playing an interesting game or whatever. But hey, I'll see you around. Thank you so much for the support. I'll be on Thursday at 4 o'clock. I'll be playing a little Mario 64, and hopefully beating Super Mario Advance. So, hey, Tundex. Yeah, I'm not the biggest night owl out there. So I'm kind of getting a little sleepy. The gameplay is suffering a bit. And I had to delay my stream for an hour because I had some weird audio issues after updating Windows 10. So my stream started later than I planned, but I've had a great time. It's nice seeing you. Hopefully I'll be able to hop into your next stream. And freaking Tundex, stay freaking safe, dude. Because, to be a teacher in the year 2020. Well, hey, thank you for your service to, in education. And hopefully, somehow or another, actually goes smoothly. So, I'll see you around, everybody, and thank you very much for watching.